Hey Brooke, how you doing today?
I'm doing super.
Hey, and
Glad to be
welcome.
back. I already feel the energy like getting all because it's been a while for me. You did yours. I watched it. Yes on all of that with the with
The
our with
nervous
our
system.
systems, our
Mhm.
nervous system, and how it reacts and how we react. And I actually started quite a while ago retraining mine. And yes, it's absolutely reprogrammable and amazing. So everything you said, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for allowing me to do that one too. I appreciate it. And welcome to all of you guys. Appreciate you joining us today. And you're right too. Like I am sorry that it has been so long since you and I have gotten together, Brooke.
No,
Honestly,
it's okay. It's journey time for a lot of people right now. A lot of people are on very personal journeys and battles right now.
yes, completely. And yeah, so yeah, you're absolutely right. And thank you. So we'll get right to it. We have I, I know personally, and I know Brooke has been too, getting some serious messages as of late with the beginning of this year. And there was one in particular that I channeled the other day that I wanted to share with you guys. And I think ties into a lot of even what Brooke's going through um personally, but I'll share the message and then we'll discuss. So this will be we'll see if we channel more, but this is the channel message that it just came in the other day. And it came through Enoch, and it says, or he says, it is the world in which you see that is so vitally important to the continuation of your love. We mustn't look upon this world with great disdain, but rather great love because of all that is possible in it. And we'll go through this line by line. It is in the truth of light that the manifestations of peace and love will occur. And we ask for this to be our focus. There is a great revolution and truth that are coming to this world. We are assisting with it. Be ready, my son, and always be the light. So how this came about initially was channeling the other day. There were probably 5 different ascendant masters coming through. And actually Enoch was one, and I'm starting to get 2 new ascendant masters come through, Lou and Krishna. And but the point here is
Who was the first one you said?
Lou, I
Lou.
believe, yeah, I believe it's a Celtic god, and his message is persistence, which I feel very heavily ties into what we're getting from Enoch now. But go
I
ahead.
got a Celtic message this week.
No kidding. What was it?
It was I was out and you saw it on Facebook. It was
Oh,
when
I
I
don't have
was, or
Facebook
no,
anymore.
I know, but you saw it because I forget that it posts on Instagram now. I
Mm,
was out doing my pine trees
mm.
and I came across the holly.
Oh,
And when I looked, and and I always knew, like, I knew, like, as excited as I was to see that little holly bush, I knew that there was a symbolic meaning behind it.
mm-hmm.
And when I looked it up, a lot of it had to do with the way the Celtics looked at had looked at the holly, and it was in dark times, it gives hope,
Mm.
because it's yes. So I'll have to send it to you what the message from the holly was.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it was, because it's like, back in the day, it's like the holly was the greenest thing, in the winter,
Mhm.
to still show us that there's life and still show us that there's. So yeah, so it was but it was a Celtic message that I got
That's awesome. Yo,
because I read a couple different interpretations. And so, hey guys, little hint: when you guys see something, like it stands out to you, it could even be like an animal or just something that you feel is symbolic. And when you Google it, what you do is there could be a lot of different interpretations. Basically, you read them all until you feel that zing,
exactly.
and when you feel that zing, that is your message that you were getting from it. So Yeah, so there's lots of, you like to think like, oh, some people nailed this, some people got it wrong. No, there can be symbolically, things can mean a lot of different things. You just look for what feels right to you on the message that you were supposed to get.
Yo, that's so true. Yeah, because there are so many interpretations. Yeah, absolutely. Brooke is 100% right. And actually, one of the things that I like to do is just kind of, I'll read them over, and if I don't resonate with any of them, I'll just sit with it for a bit and see, and
Yes.
then I'll go back and read it again, like maybe a week or two later, or even a couple of days later, and just see, okay, does it resonate yet? Nope. Okay, then I'll sit with it some more. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you brought up that, you know, you are seeing stuff, because we all are. And those are such beautiful messages that we should really be holding on to, because that is their way of letting us know that they are here helping. And it's those little messages of hope.
And like we've told you guys before, everybody is getting messages. It's
Yes.
it's if you are open and aware enough. I mean, there was somebody else could have been there and been like, saw the holly and thought it was like, oh, why is this growing here? And they could have like ripped it up and thrown it away,
Mhm.
just because you're manicuring your yard, and not that it was a bad thing, but but I'm always looking, and you do, it's like you have to stay open and keep your eyes open and heart open to get these messages. Everybody's getting them. It's just, are you seeing them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will share this story with you, and I know that we are going to talk about this message for sure. But Brooks is bringing up some great points here about these messages. And actually,
And I
it
have a
really
whole
all
lot to
ties
go
in.
along with the message. So I knew I would. It
Well,
is what I've been getting.
it's so true. And the thing is, like, it's all about being mindful, right? And mindfulness is all about being in the present moment. And when you're in these present moments and you notice these little things, these messages are so powerful if you just choose to allow yourself to see them and then believe in them.
Yeah.
What else have
Because
you
this was a day that I was truly just flowing. Like I had stuff to do inside the house. Something told me to be outside, bundle up, go outside.
Mhm.
And I just, like I said, I couldn't even leave the holly. I ended up laying there with it for like an hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I felt to be in the moment. So it was just like, it was one of those days where I didn't really have an agenda. I wasn't keeping myself busy. I was just really trying to flow with whatever I felt I had to do that day,
Yeah.
leaving myself open.
Well, and we've talked about, like, just a few seconds ago, we talked about sometimes you might not understand the meaning of a message, right? And I've said this before. There are times when I've gotten messages and it has taken me 2 years to figure out what
Oh
exactly
yeah.
something meant. But that's okay, because you just have to be patient, you know. Obviously, some, I feel like the holly are very, very they're you know it immediately, or
Yeah.
like as soon as you look it up, you're like, oh yeah, that resonates right away. But some
Yeah.
of them you do have to be patient with and allow them to really sit with you for a bit. um and just allow yourself and your energy to get to the point where it's ready to be receptive to that idea. I was seeing what is it, dragonflies for 2 years, and I knew it. I'm like, man, you're talking to me. And then, yeah, 2 years later, I finally figured it out. And yeah, that's when
Yeah.
so
Yep.
much.
The dragonfly is usually, in the simplest term, the dragonfly is God's light.
Oh, see, now to me, it means great. Like, you are capable of great change, very swift change.
Yeah.
You can move very quickly. And it was when I figured it out that I quit my job, just like a couple minutes late, or a couple, like 2 months later, I think.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it
matter of
kept.
fact, we pulled a dragonfly card the other day, my animal medicine card, and it had a very interesting, cool, more of what you're saying, explanation on it.
Yeah.
That's why I say, just in the simplest terms, if you see one go by, it's God's light. If you continue to see it, it could mean more, bringing a bigger message.
Well, and I mean, it's a great example of different message. You could see so many of us, like the hawk, for instance. So many of us can see these different animals, but like the hawk has 3 different meanings that I'm aware of, and it's what one resonates with you. So the dragonfly could have the light meaning, but it could also have a couple others, and just,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's all good. And But the most important thing is recognizing them and then allowing yourself to be open to what meaning is resonating, and
Okay,
and allowing that time for it to resonate. Go ahead.
you do know that your last podcast on
The nervous
our
system.
nervous system and that channeling that you just read go together.
No.
And how it goes together is because I've been through some trials this week. And the point of your channel is, bottom line, be joyful in all things. Like, no matter how hard or great things are going, it's to keep that peace and that love in every situation you're going through. So we talk about like the nervous system, and we are so programmed just to kind of like lose our shit at certain times, or just get some sort of news and automatically just cry and scream because we know it's a bad news. But when you get a hold of your nervous system, and it doesn't mean that you're not eventually going to maybe cry a little bit over a situation, or that you're not going to eventually be mad over a situation. It's learning not to have that initial just response. But what I've been getting a lot this week that has to do with your channeling is, it is the be joyful in all things. Like, everybody's like, oh, happy, 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 love and light. Yes. But, and then when something bad happens, then they kind of go, oh, this isn't happy, happy. This isn't love and light. Well, it's all love and light. So we have to learn that even when these situations, lessons are coming in, that we still have to remain we still have to keep a peace within ourselves, and we still have to keep that love and light, and know that we're having this lesson at the time for a reason, but it still doesn't mean you can't keep your peace and your love, during that, hard time.
Totally.
And
now,
still have a peace.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Now, I look at and actually one of the messages that Lou has been telling me now, he's started to come in probably, I don't know, late towards the end of 2021. But anyway, is persistence. And that's basically what you're saying there, and continuing the persistence of being the love. Because what I got from that message, which is exactly what you and I were talking about, how we all hear things or see things and we interpret them differently, and all of that is okay and to be expected. But then what can we do from it? So what I got from this, and actually, if you don't mind, can we take it sentence by sentence?
Yes.
We'll take it sentence by sentence. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I agree with you in that these messages, yes, can be interpreted different ways, but how it all ties in together,
Yeah.
And how you're saying, hey, I'm getting it. It's, to me, it's interpreted this way because I'm getting something a little different.
Because messages are multidimensional.
Love it. Yeah.
And so whatever dimension you are vibrating at that time is the message you're going to hear. And so there's no right or wrong way to hear the message. It's wherever you're vibrating at the time that you're going to get something slightly different.
Yo, that is great stuff, Brooke. Yes. Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way, but it makes so much sense. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, then let's go with this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. The first sentence: it is the world in which you see that is so vitally important to the continuation of your love. Now, okay, I'll share with you how I interpret this, and then I'm curious to see how you do. When I hear that, when I see that, I think of, okay, so I immediately go to my mind. I start to see the world, and I'm looking at it from above. And I look at it as, okay, from there, I go into the world, and I am love, so I start to see my love starting to spread out throughout the world, because I am here to grow and expand the amount of love that I can absorb.
Yes.
And bring into the world. So what are you thinking? What are you?
So you are absolutely right. And that is almost the job and duty of all of us. You know what I mean? To hold that love and expand it as much as we can.
Yep.
But the thing that stuck out to me the first time you read it was, I heard it like, it's the world in what you see, meaning like each of us see our worlds completely different.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, so, you know, and that was a big thing. So that's just the part that stuck out to me is, and we're each seeing this world completely different. We are each looking at a different reality, you know, and we have our own way that we bring the love into it, you know, but
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, but that was basically it. Like what stuck out to me when you just read it for the very first time was the world and what you see, meaning like each individual of us see a completely different world than the person next to us.
That I 100% agree with that. And this is so crazy. I'm going to look at something because I'm going to see if I can find something, a picture that I took the other day. That was exactly what you just described. And it's so amazing that you just said that, because I kept seeing it as I know I have to post. I post pictures on like Instagram and Telegraph and locals to you know, just inspirational messages. And one of the pictures that I took the other day was of a series of, it was a bunch of seagulls, and the message that I got was exactly that so there are about 6 different seagulls in this image, and each one of them is at a different angle. So some are turned, some are going straight, some have their wings like way up, some way down. And immediately my mind went to that is life. Like they're all heading in the same direction. All these seagulls are coming towards me, but all at different angles. Some are high, some are low. And I literally could not stop saying to myself, that is life. There was even one at the bottom of the picture that was going in the opposite direction. He was going away from the ground. I'm like, yo, if that doesn't epitomize life. And
I feel like that's me. I'm always like, oh no, I'm gonna go this way, guys.
yes. Oh my God. I'm trying to find it right now.
But then the love part is that you know, we all bring love in a different way and we all show love in a different way.
completely.
And I guess the sad part about that is sometimes other people don't see it because they know their love language and they see how they give love or bring love, and they'll see somebody else that it doesn't look like that. And they're like, but they're not saying thank you, and they're not, you know, being nice to that clerk, but yet that person's way of bringing love and showing love may be something completely different.
Yep.
You know, that shows at a different time that, you know, so we have to be very careful in how we're judging the way we show love and bring love. That it doesn't mean that somebody else isn't doing their way of bringing it and showing it.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'll keep looking for this picture. But anyway, you guys get the gist of it.
I can picture it. Yeah.
Exactly. And all of you guys can as well. But I will tell you that yeah, it is. That is how life is. And the crazy thing is, like, we cannot, well, this is going to come up. So let's continue on with this, because this is going to be, my next, what I was about to say is going to come up. So
Okay.
the next sentence, and I will put this in the description of the video in all the platforms we are on, so that you guys can see the full in all of its context and get what it from that you're supposed to get from it. We mustn't look, the second sentence, we mustn't look upon this world with great disdain, but rather great love because of all that is possible in it. What do you get from that, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, this is just so broad and big of life, because it's like, I think we all go through feeling both ways. I know that there's times that the best of us and the bright of us look around and go, get me out of here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this place is horrible. It's ratchet. It's disgusting. Oh, get me out of here. All of us, the best of us, have those moments, you know, but when you pull yourself back and you look at, even in some of the darkest lessons, the fact that what that lesson is going to bring you to. Like, so it's like when you stop looking at the, ooh, what is happening? And then you change that to the like, ooh, what am I learning? It makes you view the world completely different. And it's not as dark and ugly as we think. We are here to learn lessons. And if everything was just perfect and fine and dandy, we're really not learning. We're getting very comfortable, even a little silly,
Yep. So when I first channeled it and when I read it now, my mind automatically goes to because of a short portion of the sentence, because of all that is possible in it. And this sentence and the next one tie together so strongly. So, I mean, that right there tells me, okay, because of all that is possible in it, because we are manifestors. And we've talked about manifestations and how important it is for positivity to be like you've already achieved it. When you're thinking about manifesting stuff, you almost want to feel as if you already have it. You're already there. So, I mean, when you think about even enlightenment, you don't sit there and go, I want to be enlightened. I want to be enlightened. No, I am enlightened. And because that's going to start to get you to vibrate on that level. So that's what I think of when I read that sentence. And then
the tricky thing with manifestation right now is manifestation, like the energy, the speed of it is picking up, so we're seeing it happen faster. But you still have to remember that there can be something that you put out 10 years ago that energy is just not coming back to you. And it could have been something negative that you put out 10 years ago, that energy is just now coming back with that lesson. I was listening to a really short, funny little story the other day about how even stuff we manifest, how when it does come back around, there's like this human side of us that's just like, and really was something that we asked for. And this was a really simple example. This lady was growing her hair out and had kind of said a couple months ago, like, oh, I probably use headbands as I'm growing this hair out. Well, a couple months later, her friend brings her hair bands. And the girl was just like, oh, what are you saying? Like, are you saying I need to, like, my hair's a mess and I need to fix it? It's like that human side kicked in of like, that insecurity. And her friend was like, no, like, remember, like, we were actually talking about this, like, you more or less asked the universe for headbands, And so that's why I said manifestations, it could be as simple as you wanted a certain kitchen tool that shows up, or it could be a huge, life lesson, positive or negative, that appears positive or negative that comes back,
I am going, okay, after this next sentence, I'm going to share something that's happening right now with me that is blowing my mind. It's so amazing. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you guys some of the stuff that I've manifested intentionally that is happening. So, the next sentence, because it ties into manifesting right now, it is the truth of light that the manifestations of peace and love will occur. And we ask for this to be our focus. Now, if I may say, again, I viewed this message as being about the world. And to be honest with you, this world is going through some crazy stuff right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of unrest. And there's a lot of like power hungry people out there that are trying to do some things to us that, aren't, it's not good or bad. It's just is. And, this is a time for us to be very focused on light and love and positivity, not focused on what others are trying to do to us, but what we want to see in this world. The door is open for us to begin to manifest what we are looking for in this world. And we do that through our vibration, through our love, through our light, not focused on what these other people are doing. That is not what this is about. It is about your power, and what you bring to this world. Mother Mary channeled an extremely powerful message to us before, where she said, focus upon what you bring to this world, not what the world brings to you. And that was rattled in my mind when I read this sentence. So continue to be that and focus on that positivity and what you want out of this world, because the door is open for us right now to create that. And it only takes 1%. 1%. We don't need 90. We don't need like 90% of the people out there to be light. We need 1% to be the light, and that will begin to manifest and change this world into the
which is funny
world
because I feel like from the beginning of time we've always heard about that upper, like the not so good 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's funny that it only takes 1% of light, because positive energy is like 1,000 times stronger.
Exactly.
So the 1% of us bringing the light is 1,000 times stronger than that top 1% that is doing the bad puppet string pulling.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'll tell you guys, oh my gosh. Now, I'm not I don't come on here and tell you guys or say the things that I say without living it. And I'm telling you, I live this every day. Every single day. I work so hard, and I don't mean to bolster myself or anything like that. I'm letting you know. Yeah, exactly. Like everything that I say here, I would not say it if I didn't do it. And I work hard at being that light, being that positivity, not judging people for whatever they do. And not only, but solely or primarily focusing on what I want to see. And I'm telling you, I see a shift. I see a shift in people, and I can try continuously to focus on that shift. And I have noticed that the more light that you are, the more light filled, the more you are guided by the light, that does have an impact on people. People see it, they notice it, and they start to try to change. Now, granted, it may not happen in the time frame that you think it's happening, but it is happening.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, this is now that is the manifestations of love, light, and peace in this world, right? And remember, letting go of judgment is huge. It's a huge aspect of that. But I'm going to show you on a lighter note, on a much, much smaller scale, but really also very big. So hawks, many of you guys know hawks are my spirit animal. I literally will go into a meditation and I will envision myself etherically, like our etheric cords, attaching to every hawk out there in the world. I will see a connection to all of them. And I'm telling you, I see hawks. I'm up now to like 13 hawks in a day, 9 hawks, and that's just, the other day I saw 6 hawks in a 20-minute drive. But that's because I'm going out there and intentionally trying to connect with them. I'll give you another, for instance. For quite some time now, I have been saying, I am going to see owls. I'm going to see them. I've never seen a live owl in the wild yet. Go ahead.
One just like, okay, so owls, you really don't see them a lot. Well, because they're usually out at night. They're usually out at yesterday morning or 2 days ago, we're out on the deck, and during the day is really rare to see them. And one flew like about 20 feet from me, just like from one side of the yard to the next. But like never, like I've had one kind of go over the car at night, and it was like, holy crap, like the whole wing like covered the whole like front windshield. But it was yesterday or the day before, an owl flew right, like daytime. I never see them at daytime, especially, flew right by. So it's just funny that you bring up the owl.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't even know what brought it up within me. I just started to see like images of them, and I'm like, this owl is talking to me, but they were only through images. And I was like, I'm going to see an owl. I know I'm going to. And this has been going on now for well over a year. So again, guys, patience is needed here when manifesting at, certain things. And so owls, every now and then, not every now and then, all routinely are popping up around me, but like through images, or like they'll pop up in a movie and I'm like, man, there goes that owl again. I know it's coming.
Yes.
No kidding. Last month, I'm laying in bed and I hear an owl outside. Outside, it was later at night, so I couldn't go out and look for it.
Yeah.
But it was like just last month in December. And I'm like, there's a freaking owl around here. This is crazy, because I know it's coming to me. And
Yeah.
I need to just be patient and allow it to come to me. Last night, I come home, we were skiing, and we come home, and no kidding, I hear an owl again. It's getting closer. And then this morning, sure enough, I'm looking at a few pictures over the past couple of years, and out of nowhere, there is this random picture in family photos of an owl. So it's still coming. I know I am going to see a live owl in the wild. But anyway, my point here is that the manifestations, Mike, our friend Mike that we interviewed a while back, he manifested mushrooms. And I think I might ask him to come back at sometimes, because he is like, he's getting so much information and he's manifesting so much. But the point here is that we are capable of manifesting whatever we want. We just have to be patient.
Yes.
We have to be positive, and we have to focus on high vibrations.
Yes. And the amount of energy you put into that manifestation will depend on how it's going to come to you. So if you're putting so say you're like, I want a pair of sneakers, right? Okay, well, if you're not specific, it could be like grandma drops a pair of Bobos off at your house. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, well, there's your sneakers.
True.
And then you're probably mad at grandma for picking you out those Bobo shoes, when really you should be grateful, because the universe just gave you exactly what you asked for.
Yes.
So it's like, if you have a better idea of a pair of sneakers, then you want to put more energy into the, maybe color, or to match something, or or the brand. But if you just want a pair of sneakers, I mean, you'll probably get them, but you just have to make sure that what you're putting, the detail, and of course
but and in regards to this sentence, which I feel is so important, because I do really want to emphasize the idea that they are it is in the truth of light that the manifestations of peace and love will occur. And we ask this to be our focus. So as we were saying, the door is open right now. And we have to go out there as like leaders, because all of you and us are leaders here in this, where we want the light to be our focus. We cannot go out there and start judging people for what they're doing and think that that's light. Light is not that. And you go back to the first two sentences, and it all starts to tie in together. Like, so in the second sentence, we mustn't look upon this world with great disdain. That includes the things that are happening in it. These situations, even if you do or don't agree with them, all is good. You must focus upon the love and light for it to occur, for it to manifest. And that must be your true focus in life.
Yes.
So
read that the sentence that you're talking about now, the manifest. Read that one again.
It is in the truth of light that the manifestations of peace and love will occur. Yes. And we ask for this to be our focus.
And those of us that are able, to be at peace in a situation that a lot of people would not be at peace at. So those of us that are able to do that, when you do that, it is seen, it is noticed, and you do help calm somebody else's nervous system when they see that there's a different way that something can be dealt with. And it's like, I was in one of those situations this week, and it's, when I got the news, I knew the other person needed my calm more than I needed my freak out, and so I kept my calm and I kept my peace. And when I hung up the phone, so like I said, with the nervous system, the biggest thing is to be careful not to just instantly react. it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a reaction, because we never want to push feelings down. We never want to hold them back, because we do have to release. And when I hung up the phone, I started thinking about the situation, and it really did bring an upset to me. And I did a small release, and then I kind of brought myself back to the lesson that this person needs at this time, what they need to go through. So I did my release for my, human part of this. And then I went right back to, once I did my release, I went right back to knowing that this person needs this to happen. And that now I'm going to send light and angels to that situation. And then that's where I'm able to keep my peace. Is that I know that I did what I can do for this situation, this person's lesson in their journey, that I did what I can do. And I have peace in knowing that, I've sent the light. I know the light is already surrounding the situation, but, that's the best I can do. And I have peace with that. I have true peace with that,
That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it is really what it's all about. I love the idea of your letting go too, because that's huge. That's huge in all of this. We so often hold on to this notion of, well, they should have handled it in this way, and why didn't they handle it in this way? And I'm working on that myself right now. But letting go of that is a beautiful, a very, very powerful thing to do. And one thing that I tell my kids all the time, I saw this video or read this as far as letting go goes with what you were saying, Brooke. If you grab a glass of water, right? Or, like right now, I'm holding a box. Okay. And if I hold it out arm's length, this box there's nothing in it. It's extremely light. If I hold it there for a second, it's light and it doesn't hurt me. But if I stay here for 5-10 minutes, my arms are going to be on fire. And there's going to be more pain associated with that. And if you think about that in terms of us holding on to emotion, it's the exact same thing. If I can find a way to let that go, the pain, there is none, find a way to but the more I hold on to it, it increases. So the video that I saw was with a bottle of water. So let that bottle of water go, let that box go, let that emotion go, and really diminish the amount of pain that it causes within you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's just the step that a lot of people skip, especially those that are practicing so much with the love and the light, is they think that, something happens. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. No, you still have to feel it. You still have to, there is still something going on. Like, sometimes some of us are like love and light, but we're really pushing something down.
Yep.
It is love and light to feel that and to release it, so just make sure in all of our spiritual practices that we're going for this happy, 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 make sure that you are still feeling and releasing.
So true. All right. The last sentence here is there is great revolution and truth that are coming to this world. Interesting. And clearly this is not a revolution of this is a revolution of love and light and understanding. This is wisdom. That's what they're referring to when they say revolution. We are assisting with it. Be ready, my son, and always be the light. Wow, what a powerful freaking statement that is. Because you got to think of okay, first, where are they coming from? They're talking to us from a heavenly realm, and everything in heaven is love, light, acceptance. It's all those high vibrational feelings, all those high vibrational thoughts that we have. And so you think about it, there is a tremendous amount of truth that is coming to this world. And I feel like, last year we channeled about the reveal. I feel like that reveal has been happening. We're really seeing a lot right now.
And it's kind of crazy and cool because for I've seen this for a long time, that no doubt there are a lot of things seemingly negative and dark going on right now. And a lot of people are kind of staying in that zone and focusing on that. But if you look at the other side, there is so much good stuff going on. I mean, I think any of us can go. Some of the thoughts I'm having now of love are even 2 years ago, wasn't thinking like this. 10
Mhm.
years ago, I definitely wasn't thinking like this. You know, you have people focusing on this dark, but then you look like if all that dark were to fall away or right now, snap of a finger, the amount of light that has been brought in the last few years also is so huge. I mean, down to like commercials talking about mindfulness, like even like it could be a toilet paper commercial. But if you there's like enlightening things in that toilet paper commercial. It's like, since when does a toilet paper commercial talk about being like mindful and
Mhm.
it's like, so for as much negative or what we view as negative that's going on right now, there's just as much, if not more, good stuff being brought up that we're not looking at it yet because it's not what we're focusing on, but it's
Mhm.
all there. And
Yep.
so by the time this darkness drops, that light, there's so much light here right now.
Well, think about it in terms of your holly, right?
Yeah.
Like when you look around, there's probably, we're in the midst of winter here on the East Coast of the United States. And there's a lot of like, the trees have lost their green, so you're not seeing a lot of like that green. You might have some
Mhm.
grass on the ground and there's might be some weeds around, but for the most part, everything's starting to like die down. So you
Yeah.
come across this holly, and please forgive me because I don't even know what a holly is. And there's life there. There's green. There's love. Green is
Yeah.
the representation of love. So you think about that, and it's easy to get lost in all this, quote unquote, death around you in the midst of a winter. But then when you can focus on this light that's right there in front of you and this love, man, that is powerful.
I
And
was cutting these dead, ugly branches off. Is what I was doing to my pine trees.
there you
The
go.
whole bottom, they were, and as I was doing it, I was like, "Gosh, I didn't realize that all your branches were dead, or I would have cut you off a long time ago." Like I just thought that there was a lot of branches here. Didn't realize that a lot of these were dead, and that's was exactly what I was thinking as I was doing it. And then as soon as I looked over and saw my little holly, like I knew it was something right away. Like I just the amount of excitement I had for this little thing.
Yes. Well, and so okay, so if you look at this message, this channeled message here, and break it down. All right, the first sentence is about this overall world, and then how this world is so vitally important to your love, to the continuation of your love, and how you absorb love. That's the first sentence. The second sentence, you break it down again, and then they talk about how this world, just like Brooks Holly, could be looked upon with a heaviness because there is so much here. But if we can focus on the holly and all that love, then okay, so they talk about that being your focus, right? Next, they talk
Mhm.
about within that focus how that can impact the manifestations that we bring to this world. So we're breaking this down sentence by sentence. Now they're saying, okay, you focus upon that holly, that love, that light, and in it, more love and peace will occur because that's how manifestations work, not
Yeah.
by focusing on all that other density around you.
Yeah. So the bottom line is the vibration that I was bringing myself to. Like I said, like for some reason, I cannot tell you how in love I was with this holly. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about at that time the amount of love I was feeling wasn't going, that energy was not going into the holly, that energy was going out to the world,
Exactly.
and it was like, believe me, at that moment I was sending some high vibes of love to the world
Yes.
with my little holly,
Yes.
you know
Exactly.
and so there's a good exercise when you're feeling low vibrational. Find something to look at that makes you feel love. It could the clouds. You know what I mean? Like I know the clouds, I look at them and I feel love. So it's like if you're having a time where you're feeling low, just pick anything to look at and focus on that brings that love feeling to you.
Exactly. And that is so. And then the last sentence. So each one, the world, and then what to look on, and then what happens when you look on the love, each sentence. And then the last one, what they are doing in that focus. In that focus, they are have it. There is great revolution and truth that are coming to this world, and we are assisting with it. That is like mind blowing, because we have talked so much about how influential they really are in this world, and we just don't realize it. You know, the other day, I'll give, man, so they are using our higher vibrations to bring more love and light into this world. And and right now it is so possible to focus on all the density, and I can feel my energy shifting right now. There's when we focus on the negative, more negative grows, but we focus on the positive grows, and that's what they need from us in order to bring more of this truth to this world.
Yes.
So profound there, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And we talked about how we are manifesting, Brooke and I, different things into this world, like the hawks and the owls and shoes, and there was another one that you brought up and I forget, but either way, you are capable of manifesting.
What you focus on is what is going to come into your life, whether it's in 2 days or whether it's 2 years from now. So it's like, when we are having like a day where we're focusing on negative things, it's going to come back. Maybe not that next day, maybe not that, or it could, but it is going to come back, you know? So when we're focusing, and like I said, negative can also just mean lessons, you know, we just view it as negative, but we really got to watch, especially now, because I feel like there's so much more energy here, and those manifestations are coming back faster, which is good, because if we have that negative, it's going to come back. We're going to learn that lesson a lot faster, you know, but, you know, you putting that positive out there, that's going to come back to you faster also right now.
Totally.
We are accelerated.
We really are. And that door is open. So it is so important for us to really be that light, and to be leaders here, you know, in the light and love, and how to represent that light and love without judgment, with acceptance, with understanding that we are here learning. So important. And here's it. So and Lou's word, the Ascendant Master Lou, his word from the beginning of the year keeps telling me persistence in it. So this has to be a regular routine for you, for us as leaders of the light, as light workers. We must continue that persistent way of being, and do it in such regular routine basis that it just becomes who we are. And then therefore them above can leverage that frequency so much more steadily.
And you know, sometimes we shoot too big, you know, like we miss the small little things. Hey, let me tell you, I love coffee. So my first routine in the morning, when I sip that coffee, I have love pouring from me, because I'm so happy that I had this warm sip of coffee. So remember, like, don't just look for, like, in the simplest, smallest things, there is still so much joy and love and peace. And some of us just look at these big things like, oh, this better house, this better car, this money, that we forget about those very little simple things that bring a super high vibration of love. And it can be that first sip of coffee in the morning. You know, it can be walking out to your car and you spot a blue jay, you know, just hold those hold just as high, if not higher vibrations, the small things.
Now, if I can, would you mind? So now this is what I will say here, because you bring up a great point. Yes. But I look at that as the happiness and the light is already within you. Even without that cup of coffee, there's still so much joy, love, and light within you that even without it, you're still there. You could still vibrate at that level, you know? So yeah, I mean, but that I completely understand. But that, like, right there, I feel like that is the prime example of how, you know, we interpret these messages from, you know, the frequency at which we are at that very moment. It's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I love that. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just that, just find the wonder in those small things too, because that will have you vibrating higher, and we
Yes.
just take notes of even the littlest things that are
Complete.
blessings. Well, it comes back to gratefulness too. Anytime we're feeling grateful, you know,
Yeah.
it's like grateful you have a car to hop in, grateful you have a roof over your. It comes back to that whole gratefulness thing too.
Great point. And it all
Yeah.
starts with us and inside of us. And yeah, so I'm with you, Brooke. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, you cool if I
Yes.
channel? All right.
Yes. Awesome.
And you know what, guys, please forgive us because I totally just realized that this is our first podcast of 2022. So happy New Year.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize that either.
I know, right? Well,
Yes.
hopefully, and this is late into the podcast, but hopefully make this year, not hopefully anything, make this year what you want.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
that light, so everything we were just talking about and everything that Enoch channeled to us.
Yep.
And let's see what comes up now. Ooh, I'll tell you what, my energy is man, has really shifted. My children, with great peace, we come to you now. Enoch speaking, and beautiful light and love for all that are in attendance here today in this podcast. It is with great love and intentions that we come to you and offer you these messages of great love. It is within your heart space that we live and always will be. And we are grateful upon this, which we are here now. It is through which we are here now. We come to you now with a great message of understanding, as there is more light, love that is being ascertained by this world. And we are grateful for this. It is within this light that all of you share with each other that more is capable. And when we say more love, light, peace within this world. It is the acceptance that all of you are beginning to offer to many in this realm. The acceptance at which we are beginning to feel for each other. We are beginning to embrace one another with greater understanding that there is a tremendous amount of love that is being felt and offered to this world at which we are here now. And we are grateful for this. We are asking all of you to be steadfast in your focus upon the love, for that is which is how we come to this realm. It is within your heart space that offers us so much more higher vibrational frequency and attunement. And it is your own vibrational attunement that must be the focus upon which you operate. Your vibrations are what are so vitally important. Not only is that how we come to this world, but it is also the purpose of your soul to acquire more light and love and to operate in such light. It is in which we speak to you now that the love all of us feel is the purpose of all souls, the purpose of acquiring more light and to live in a state of acceptance of who you are and the acceptance of more light into your vibrational frequency. But this only occurs when we vibrate at that frequency, when we learn and operate in such higher vibrational frequencies. It is within this frequency that your soul is capable of acquiring more of the light at which is available to it. But we tell you now, all are capable of acquiring more light should they so choose to focus upon and operate in that light space. Within that light space are aspects of great love, acceptance, truth, and light, peace. And within that, we say thank you. When we make this our primary being, if you will, when we make this our primary being, you are saying to the world now, I accept the light within me. And this is a mantra, if you will, that is helpful in you acquiring more light. I am who I am meant to be. I am being a being of great light. These again are all mantras that you are capable of saying that help you and your soul achieve higher levels of light and attunement to that light. It is from that you begin to operate in such frequencies, and therefore more, even more light is capable of being ascertained by you and your soul. And for that, we say, thank you very much. It is with great love that we come to you now, and we tell you it is only capable that we come to you now because of the heart space that you currently hold and all the light that you currently operate in. We are grateful for it, and thank you for it. Go in great peace, my children, always, and be the light, always. We are here assisting with all of you and your growth as you call upon us in those moments, and every moment that you wish, we are there. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank them. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. All team effort.
Yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
awesome. Go ahead. You have anything or?
No, I think that was like pretty short and sweet. And like I said, I think just the one thing I caught like in towards the beginning was, like you would say, don't focus on how much light or lack of light you think somebody else has.
Yep.
Like that brings you down. And I know it feels weird because we've always felt like it was like a selfish thing to focus on ourselves, but that's exactly what we do, is focus on ourselves and our own light, because that is the biggest way that we're going to impact everybody else. So we've always thought of it as selfish. It's actually the most selfless thing that you can do, is to focus on yourself, because most of us have a hard time focusing on ourselves. So it really is, that's a big thing. But that's what we need to do, because that is how we're going to make the biggest change. Save yourself, save the world, change yourself, change the world, light yourself, light the world.
Great point. And that goes back to what Mother Mary said that one time. And seriously, I say this probably every week, not every day, but probably every week. Focus. I mean, it's a mantra that I use regularly. Focus on what I bring to this world, not on what this world brings to me. And thank you so much, Mother Mary, for sharing that with us, because it is such a powerful reminder of when we do focus on what we bring to the world, it helps to continue with that focus and ensuring that I do not lower my vibration because someone else is lowering theirs, Yeah. But yeah. So awesome. Well, thank you, Brooke. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you all for listening. Yeah. Appreciate you all, and hope you're all doing well. Remember, make this world make this year and world what you want it to be, not what others want it to be.
Yes. And you too can go out and manifest yourself a Cheshire Cat onesie. That was my goodwill manifestation last week.
Love it.
I knew I wanted warm and comfy, and I did not realize that it was going to be
a
Cheshire Cat $3.99 onesie.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Nice. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. You too. See you guys.